Okay, we're back, and we have we're discussing the World Health Organization being blamed by Donald Trump for the pandemic that we have, and we got somebody online they've actually been reading this, and we're going to talk about it here now. They fired back. The World Health Organization fired back, from what I understand. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Hello.
Well, the World Health Organization just kind of fired back and saying that they need to stop politicizing. World leaders need to stop politicizing it. So, hopefully that'll kind of end the parade of all the finger pointing and all that.
Okay.
I think it might, but I mean, right now you have a daily press conference with the president, and he has a soapbox that he can fire from. So could be more and more.
Well, my thing is this. The president is the one who dropped the ball on this. This is not the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization did not fire his pandemic division. It's funny.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the pandemic division is like the flu shot. I don't need the flu shot because I take the flu shot every year and I never even get the flu, so I don't need the flu shot. That's exactly the type of thinking that this president had. He didn't think that it's obvious he didn't think that the pandemic division was very important because we've never had a pandemic. We haven't had one in 100 years, and it has been 100 years. As a matter of fact, it was almost exactly 100 years since we've had a pandemic. So it stands to reason that
was the H1N1 a pandemic?
Well, H1N1 was an epidemic. I don't know if it was a pandemic, but not at this rate, not at this level. I barely even remember H1N1. I mean, I know we had it, but we saw it on the news. This has affected our lives this time. I mean, I can't go outside. We can't. I'm walking around with a mask on my face for the first time ever. I mean, I never wore that stuff. Places are getting raided. Toilet paper's getting, they got to limit what you buy because people going out and raiding the place. I mean, this is crazy. Never seen it like this in 100 years. And we've had epidemics, but never at this level. And I think it became this level because we didn't keep our pandemic division open. And closing it down was the mistake, But it's like these people that think that, since I don't get the flu, I obviously don't need the flu shot. Well, you're not getting the flu because you had the flu shot. Well, you didn't have a pandemic because you had a pandemic. You had a pandemic division.
The H1N1 was a pandemic,
but not at this level. I mean, we've never experienced anything
not at
like
this
this.
level. But there were a lot of school closings. There were a lot of people. There were a lot of precautions taken.
We didn't blame the Republicans for it. We didn't say that the Republicans were creating a hoax. We acted on it. We reacted to it. But and the unemployment didn't shoot to 15%. It's at 15% right now, I think. Right now it's
the death toll of this virus is so much higher that it causes us to have to say, "Hey, look, it's very infectious, and it's very very deadly." To right now, 3.4% is the death toll. So it's much higher than the 1.4 we were hoping for. But they haven't tested everybody. So it might turn out to be less, but at the moment it's 3.4. That's that's of the people who are tested of it. So
yeah, that's something. That's unbelievable. But another thing I'm going to throw out there is that, in spite of the fact that he went through two, I don't know if they call them pandemics, more like epidemics. In spite of, if they were pandemics, that's just more to his credit, more to Obama's credit. He walked into 10% unemployment and brought it down to 3.5%, and it should have gone up with these pandemics if there were pandemics.
Well, okay.
So why?
It was a pandemic, but its death toll wasn't as high as this.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no need to shut everything down. But there were schools shut down.
Mm-hmm. But I think,
everywhere.
But that in itself is his credit, because he handled it better, and he had this. He talked about it. Even Bill Gates talked about it back then. He talked about we needed. This was a wake up call for us, and we fell asleep at the wheel, is what we did. But I guess if Donald Trump gets an applause from his group, he can go ahead and just ignore science.
So now we've seen something kind of rare out of Donald Trump on this deal. He's walked back what he said.
But he's never apologized, though. He's never apologized for it, has he?
Well, that's what people love about Donald Trump. The people who love Donald Trump love the fact that he's unapologetic. Now, if he goes around apologizing, that's kind of his whole thing. So, don't expect him to apologize.
Sorry.
Expect people to be people. He's not going to apologize. And right now, he's turned around and went back and on a lot of things he said about it being a hoax, and about he's went back on a lot of that stuff.
Has he owned up to it? I haven't heard that. I haven't heard him say, I'm sorry, I should have been more.
He ain't going to do that.
Yeah, he ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
I would respect him more. I think I would respect him more if he said that. If he did that, I think I'd respect him more. For him to, as long as we've got a life and death situation here, and if your main concern is your votes or your election, then you got the wrong priorities right now. Now, you need to spend more time doing your job instead of trying to figure out how to keep your job. And I don't think he's got to worry about that anyway. And that's the really sad part. I don't think he's got to worry about keeping his job. He's going up against Biden now because Bernie Sanders has dropped out. And the Burners are not going to vote for Biden. They've already said that. I don't know why. It's almost like they were purposely trying to lose this. So there's no excuse for him to backpedal. To protect his.
Well, the Democrats
pride.
have inflicted their own wounds, much like Donald Trump does on a lot of things. He brings them up, and he gets involved with them, and if they don't go that right, he just kind of leaves it basic. Donald Trump has a habit of self-inflicting wounds, and so do the Democrats. The Democrats, they're trying to have a big giant tent that everybody's under, and all these people have different agendas and different things that they want to get done.
Right.
Now, you have this whole giant agenda, people under your tent, and you have two 78-year-olds are your main candidates.
Yeah.
Out of women and men of color and women of color and, younger guys, a gay guy, all this you had up there. You had all these people up there, and you still went with the two 78-year-old guys.
Well, what does that say about us now? We're just going to pick a white guy from now on? Come on. Old white guys.
It's so ridiculous. It's like and nothing against Bernie Sanders, and nothing against Biden. I think Biden, it might be a little bit past his time.
I think Biden hasn't done anything. That's my problem with Biden. They talk about all this. Well, I did this, I did that. Look, you haven't done anything really important. You've done the things that Republicans will allow you to do because, it doesn't affect their bottom line. And I think for him to walk in, this is the only candidate I know who's actually winning, and his argument that helps him win is, we can't do that. I'm like, really? That's your, come on. If my slogan was, I can't do it, I'm like, well, then you can't be president then. Yeah,
well, this is the thing about it is.
What was this? What was that thing said? Don't be an American, be an American. Yeah. I agree with that. And I follow that because I'm not voting for him because he said I can't.
Well, this is the thing. This thing about okay, so Biden might have been like his problems that he's having now are mostly due to the fact that he's not as quick as he used to be. He used to be slick. He used to be quick. That was a good thing. That was what Biden was good at.
He was.
Getting it out there. He's not like that anymore. Okay, and then you have Bernie Sanders, who's a socialist. The word socialist.
Democratic socialist. Democratic socialist. And there is a difference.
Nobody's mad at the Democratic part. People go, he said he's Democratic. Nobody said that. People say he's a socialist.
Focus on the bad part.
And I understand.
Even if it's bad. It's not even bad.
It's really that.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I'm not sure if Joe Biden, and I think there was a lot of voters, Democratic voters, that probably thought that same thing. They were like, is Joe Biden's, lapse at senior moments worse than Bernie Sanders being a socialist? Which is worse?
Yeah.
Which is worse for the party to bring people in?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And, they went with senior moments. And that, the fact that it got to senior moments or a guy who called himself a socialist, neither one of them are going to win.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to cut it short. I'm glad you came on. Thanks for coming. It's been great talking to you. And I want to be, what's your name?
Tom Rick.
Tom Rick. All right. Tom Rick, thanks for coming on. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks.
Anyway, we gotta go because I gotta go to work. I'll see you later. Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.